What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video I will show you the latest news directly related to our story. I will give you my 2 cents regarding the recent S1 form, and I will try to answer on the most common questions from the MMTLP community. But before we dive deep into all of this, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends and family, and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for the community. So let's start with the news itself. Since I made my previous video, I received a lot of DMs and some of my viewers asked me why it is even happening. Why we have or have not to transfer our MMTLP shares to AST and what is this all about. So let me explain. You all know that about a month ago, Greg McCabe became a head of the board of directors. He became a chairman of the board of directors of NBH hydrocarbons. And on top of that, he is one of the biggest shareholders of NBH because previously he held a lot of MMTLP shares and previously he held a lot of TRCH shares. That is why he one of the biggest shareholders, and somewhere in spring of this year he mentioned that he doesn't believe that FINRA will allow us, will basically give us 2 additional trading days in order to close the short positions. And because of this, he transferred his shares, I guess, about 1.5 months ago, or even before this period. And the main reason why is he doing that is that he doesn't believe, on top of previous statement, that FINRA will give us the information regarding the blue sheets. And one of the ways how we can solve this problem is to try to transfer all of the shares to AST, because AST can hold only 165.473 million shares somewhere at this point, because he was allowed to do it because it was the initial number of shares. And when and if the total amount of these shares will be on the AST accounts, this will be a strong indicator that any other shares that left on the broker-dealers accounts, these shares will be a pure evidence that we have a lot of naked shorting, and a lot of shorters performed illegal actions in order to push the price of MMTLP lower. And it doesn't mean that all of the shares that potentially might left on the broker-dealer's account, it is not the evidence that these shares are false. These shares are counterfeit shares. It means that we have more than the previously predefined number of MMTLP shares of 165.473 million. And this might be the evidence in the upcoming lawsuit, and this lawsuit definitely will help us to solve our problem, and it will force the broker-dealers and illegal market makers to close their position, because for now they are violating the rule that privately held company cannot be shorted by any means. It is out of any laws. And this means they're stuck in this position and they cannot do anything. They cannot buy back shares in order to close their position and to stay aside from this case. The only way what they can do is that just to kick the can down the road. And let me show you that FINRA just yesterday published this quite interesting update on their official website. They disclosed 3 letters, and let me quote you what did they write. In the interest of transparency and clarity, it is already ridiculous a sentence. FINRA is posting the correspondence between FINRA and NBH hydrocarbons referenced in their July 26, 2023 press release. And there is 3 letters. One of them is the letter from NBH hydrocarbons to FINRA, and 2 letters from FINRA to NBH hydrocarbons. And you can read these letters by yourself, but the main idea of these letters is that FINRA denies to release the blue sheets, and it also cannot force the broker-dealers to close their short positions. And I have to say that it is quite interesting situation, because in this case, yes, they will violate some of the rules of SEC and on the fair market, basically. But on the other hand, it is already the pure violation of their own rules that a private company has, that some companies can short the private company. And this is another contradictory in their statements. On top of that, they refused to give us 2 additional trading days in order to shorters could close their position, because basically they can allow the NX bridge hydrocarbons to be tradable again. But in this case, NBH should pass all the steps in order to be tradable. They have to receive a QSIP and make some other procedures. And in this case, they will be tradable forever, and they will not be any trading halts right after 2 trading days in order to shorts might close their position. That is why we have another quite contradictory situation, and that is why Greg McCabe decided to move his own shares to AST, and he decided to give more benefits to people who also will transfer their shares to AST. And guys, no one can force you to do anything, and Due Diligence wrote a perfect tweet that, let me quote it for you. Anyone who tells me I have to transfer my shares to AST has to transfer their lips to the south end of the northbound horse on a hot, humid day. I don't have to do anything. I have to fight for what I believe in. That's it. But while we are telling people what they have to do, if you tell people they have to transfer, then you have to show them proof that all of your shares have been transferred first. This includes showing them your brokerage statements, showing how many shares you held, showing the transfer, then showing them your AST account statement with all of your shares. And you have to show them your real name too. If you are going to be giving financial advice, then you have to be willing to disclose your identity. If you are not willing to then you have to shut the hell up. And I completely agree with his statement. Everybody should decide on his own. And let me show you the pros and cons of each and every approach. So, if you want to transfer your shares to AST, you will still be eligible for any other dividends, and you will still be a NX bridge hydrocarbons shareholders. This means your intrinsic value, the intrinsic value of your shares remains the same, but on top of that, you receive 10% of working interest in Orogrande Basin, and it is not the dilution, it is the shares from Greg McCabe. It is his own shares that he want to give to the community in exchange for the transferring these shares to AST. And the downside of this approach is that in case if FINRA will give us again 2 trading days for NX bridge hydrocarbons in order to close the illegal short positions. In this case, you will not be eligible to sell these shares on the open market. Your shares will be on AST accounts. That is the downside. So, and on the other hand, if you leave your shares on your broker-dealer accounts, on your personal accounts, account on some broker-dealers, in this case, you will not be a recipient of these dividends, and definitely it will reduce the price of your share. And let me show you this video that was made just several hours ago by Tony's tweets, and he made this video where he explains and where he show the potential additional cost to your shares if you transfer your shares to AST. So, in case if you leave your shares in your current account, if you will not move it to AST, in this case, you will not receive this dividend, and it is quite obvious. On top of that, there are some questions regarding the retirement accounts on which you might hold these shares. In this case, if you want to transfer these shares to AST, it will be basically a taxable event, and in this case it becomes another quite tricky situation. It rises another quite tricky situation when you have to pay taxes, but in this case the price of the shares for now is literally zero, and no one can define this price because it is not the publicly tradable asset, and that is why market cannot set the price for this asset. And in this case, as you can see, it is quite tricky situation, and for now I don't know the solution of it. On top of that, as far as I find out, not so many international brokers from outside of the United States can transfer these shares to AST, and this might be another problem that people basically blocked from this transfer. On top of that, some broker dealers might charge a huge fee in order to prevent people to transfer these shares to AST. And this situation I also described recently, and I've told you what is the reason of this behavior. Potentially it is an evidence that they are hiding something, and potentially they are involved in this illegal process of naked shorting the MMTLP stock. But it is what it is, and you have to decide by yourself, and you have to know what is the upsides and downsides of this action. And definitely I will do another update probably today in the evening, and we have a huge update from Rosa Towell's lawsuit. And I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just